Good evening, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of Get Wealthy Wednesday. Our focus is to increase knowledge of building generational wealth by speaking with industry leaders within our community. Tonight's episode is brought to you thanks to More Owned Businesses. Let me get you on here so y'all can see me as I speak. How y'all doing? Hopefully everyone is doing well. I see y'all coming in the room. All right, so as I was saying today, our show is brought to you by More Owned Businesses. Go to moreownedbusinesses.com where they promote products and services by Black-owned businesses, making it easier to build and promote within our communities. Let me go ahead and scroll up and put that up on there, moreownedbusinesses.com. There you go. All right. All right, so I want to also give a special thanks to The Sanctuary for supporting the show. Check out thesanctuary.com where they provide the best essential oils and aromatherapy for all of your health and wellness needs. So tonight, I would like to give an early Father's Day show. I know it's a couple weeks early, but we're gonna do it here. We'd like to welcome Anthony A.D. Walker in the building. Let me go ahead and get you up in there, bro. There you go.
Bam! What up?
Hey, how you doing, bro? How you doing?
Doing well. Can't complain. I'm excited to be on the show. We've kind of known each other from the Periscope land for quite a while, so I'm definitely excited to be here.
Yeah, that's what's up, man. It's been a minute, man. It's been I know I've been on for almost 4 years, I guess. So yeah, it's been a minute. So just to give you, I know this guy. You have a plethora of talents. You know, you're a motivational speaker, a certified coach. You got podcasts everywhere or whatever. I can't even keep up some days. I'm like, wait a minute. You turn on something and be like, oh, AD's back on again. All right. What am I missing? But no, you're doing it all, man.
Appreciate it.
Much props and much respect.
All right. Hey, Dr. Tammy. Thanks for rocking with us.
Hey, what's going on, Tammy? So just, we're going to try to get this started. Just let me know, a little bit more about you. I gave you a small synopsis of, gave them a small synopsis of what you do, but I know I can't even scratch the surface. So just go ahead and give me a little background of who you are and what you do.
Definitely. All right. So first off, my internet's a little janky, so please bear with me if something happens. So this is a disclaimer. Just throwing it out there now. Like, where'd he go? Okay. So Charter's not been working with me. So my name's A.D. Walker. I generally go by the Pusher, the Grower, the Motivator. I am a motivational speaker, podcaster, the co-founder or basically founder of Brothers of Legacy, as well as a podcast called Brothers Who Talk. Basically, my goal and mission is to help those that have a hard time doing their purpose get into it, getting past uncomfortable parts and getting into what they know is inside of them. Because a lot of times, hey, Kimberly, hey, it's been a minute. A lot of times we are stuck in our ways, we're stuck in our mind, and we have a life of have to instead of a life of I want to, So it's my mission to pull all of us into the life of the want to and enjoying what you do and doing those things that are bringing the most fulfillment, because you're not going to always enjoy it, because even coaching can get tedious. It can get nerve-wracking and annoying and like, ugh, it's the fifth time I told you to do it.
Yeah.
But it's rewarding. In the end, it's rewarding. So my goal is to help those come out of their old self and into their new self.
Right. Yeah, no, I've one of the many things that I've done in the past, I swear I've done a few things. I was a coach for like 13 and 14-year-old basketball team. And so coaching sometimes can be very interesting, especially when you're trying to, get it through somebody's head. This is, because one thing about coaching, you've seen it, you've done it, and you know exactly what's out there.
Right.
It may not make sense to the person that you're talking to because they can't see that vision yet. They're like, hey, well, why do I need to do it this way? Because this way is so much easier. It's like maybe somebody that's right-handed, right? All the time, hey, dribble with your left.
Right.
With your left. I'm doing that. I'm like, hey, but I can make these all day. But,
right.
I need to make you a full around, all around player. So those types of things of, being in coaching is just like, all right, look, I know I've been there, I've done it, I've already failed. I've tripped over all these rocks. So I'm trying to tell you what you need to do and how to do it, and use these use these rocks as stepping stones instead of blocks, right?
Definitely.
So,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. We're good.
No, so I was just wanted to. I know you've been like an entrepreneur for pretty much as long as I've known you.
Right.
What else prompted you to go into entrepreneurship, or why did you feel the need to get away from the plantation?
Maybe, and you ever notice time just flying, but about 5 years ago, I was going through a divorce, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. And I was trying to rediscover who I was. Sometimes you try to get better. Can you hear me? Oh, I'm losing. We here?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, is it just me? All right. So, 4 or 5 years ago. So I was trying to find myself again. And I realized like years ago, decades ago, I always wanted to be like a motivational speaker. I wanted to motivate people. And the first person, my first client, was that dude in the mirror. I was like, we need to get out of this rut. We need to change some things and do a lot of things different. Like this where we're at right now is not going to get us to where we want to be. Right. So to break that challenge, I started watching Periscope, just kind of like on and watching, and just like a lot of people, just kind of spectating. And I saw a couple of people, this lady named Naya, what's her name? Ashley Ann was on, and I was like, wow, I could really do it. And I've noticed it was people of color. Told if I'm still here. Let's do it again. Am I still here? Let's find out.
We will. Are you good?
Circle of death. Let me see.
Yeah, I don't know where you are.
Let's see. Okay, so we're gonna just do black for a minute, and
all right, there we go. So you know what? We're in lieu of
maybe my picture come back up. Maybe fix itself.
There we go. Yeah, there we go. We had the black square out there from yesterday, so we're all good. All right, so I think we're having a little technical difficulties there with Mr. AD here, but hopefully he can come back in here and we can finish our interview for tonight. As I mentioned earlier, he is a motivational speaker. He has a lot of podcasts that he is working on. He does things. He's been on the Periscope world. So the people are here over in Periscope. You may have seen, or may have seen 80 scopes for the last few years, as he was saying. There's a lot of things that he's been talking about. And then, so I'm just looking at your comments here. Hey, Brother Tobit. He's frozen, but okay, sound is good. All right, well, at least the sound is good here. How you doing, Charmaine? All right, let's see. Hopefully we can get him back into the broadcast. I see him coming over. Are you good now? All right, there we go. Let's see.
We just got there we go. We clear?
We are getting there.
Sorry about that. I know a little janky, my.
It's all right, man. Sometimes you just have to wear that tinfoil hat to get that better reception.
Got chin. The rabbit is got to stand like this.
Man, something, right, man. You get that hanger.
Oh man. So let's get it. Let's get it. All right. So 3 years, or 4, 5 years, whatever. And yeah. I realized I needed to begin to express myself. So I watched other people. I actually had a coaching call with one of the ladies on. I got on the call and she was like, "You need to do it. You need to express yourself. You got stuff going on. You need to put your name, put your message out there. You might encourage somebody." So I went live, and pretty much that was history. That's where I started. It was uncomfortable, but I realized it was getting me out of my old way of thinking. Sometimes we need to do an action that's going to get us outside the box. Like I always have encouraged people to go live because it'll get you outside your box. And honestly, in your message, oh my face, let me get it centered. In your message is where you will find who you are. Right. You'll find your purpose. If you notice, a lot of us have started on Periscope. We found our businesses. We became entrepreneurs based on just coming online because one, we find a need that's out there, and two, we find our voice. So that helped me tremendously. You get your voice out there, and if you ever want to be a speaker, this is where it starts. This is where you get to. This is your gym. This is where you get to spar. This is where you get to get used to hearing yourself talk. So
hey,
that's how I got started, and it's helped me tremendously.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's one thing when you're doing motivational speaking, or you're doing a speaking in front of real live people. You can actually see their body language. You can see their eyes. You can see if you're losing them. You can see whatever. But you just got a whole bunch of theoretical people on the other side of the screen, and you don't know if you're reaching them. Everything that is everything that's you're saying is actually reaching them. They're comprehending exactly what you're saying. I think the first couple of times when I started getting on Periscope, I like to talk to people. I like to be out in and with a crowd in front of me. But staring at a phone puts you in a whole different light. It puts everything. It changes everything. So I think that's one of the things that we had to. What's going on?
Right. You said one thing you have to overcome.
Hey, yeah, you got to overcome that fear. Learn how to deal with the trolls. Everything, all of those. There's a lot of different things you have to learn once you start coming over into live streaming.
Right. And I think that the toughest part is kind of talking to yourself, and you say something good, you're waiting for a response like, did they hear it? Then you say amen. You're like, okay, there we go. Let's keep going.
Right.
Like no hearts are flowing, and you just like, does
anybody hear me? Is this thing on?
Is this thing on?
Exactly.
So yeah, that's been my journey.
So how do you think that has and everyone has, I know they have a different viewpoint of entrepreneurship.
Right.
And especially those first couple of years, right? Yes. And it's like, because you're taking those lumps. You're taking those lumps big time, right? So how do you think it's affected you? Has it made you a bigger and better person? Has it because I know a lot of people, I said, especially when you're getting started, some people, it's the fear, they don't want to start. It's that failure to start mode. They have every excuse in the book why they shouldn't start. They got those people that's in their corner that's telling them why they shouldn't start. All those different things that's like kind of weighing on them, and it's like sometimes those negative things either from ourselves or from other people is that kind of like weighs on us, especially when we're starting in entrepreneurship.
Right. So yeah, that's the toughest part is getting out of your own head, because a lot of times it's no one's saying anything, it's what you're thinking. And then if someone said something 8 years ago, you're holding on to that like it's relevant today.
Right.
That's so the first thing is getting past yourself. The second step is knowing that you have to do this by yourself. This journey is can get kind of lonely. And though you have supporters, you may have people close to you that rooting you on. In the end, the decisions that you make for your business is on you.
Right.
Whether you succeed or fail, it's on you. And you just got to accept that this is the decision I'm gonna make, regardless of what happens. We're gonna keep rolling.
Right.
You got to get over yourself. Uh, be a force of one, at least in the beginning, and then understand that failure is an opportunity to succeed, because it's always a learning moment. So we have to just the main thing is being consistent and being persistent. Being
Right.
consistent and being persistent. For myself, when I started, like the first time I got on, then maybe like a month later I jumped on. January rolled up, and I'm not like a what's the word, when you're going into the new year, you're making your man, the
Resolution.
word revolution, there you go.
There you go.
Resolution.
New year, new me. Like, okay.
Yeah, new year, new me. And I started going online like every day, like the beginning of the year, like every day. Every day I'm gonna get on till I get real comfortable. So that's what kicked me off into going to my business and going into being an entrepreneur, because I knew it's kind of like when I first worked out, before I even got into a gym, I had to wait. I said, if I can be consistent with this, then I'll go get a gym membership, because then I'll know I'll stick to this thing, so you have to gauge where you're at in
Right.
order to know what you can handle, so you got to keep moving those
Right.
steps. And so my answer to those that make excuses, just start making the steps, just start taking the steps, because some people get so
Right.
caught up in what I got to buy this, I got to invest in it. No, just get started.
Right.
Writing a plan is getting started. Talking to someone that you need to partner up with is getting started.
Right.
Just doing the small things to get started.
Right.
So that's key.
And I think that's one of the key parts of entrepreneurship is uh, getting to that phase of learning that you need other people.
Right.
Because especially when we're starting up, we are everything. It's like the one man band. We got the harmonica, we got the foot snare, we got everything going on, and it's like, all right, you're gonna burn yourself out quick, because you got every day you're performing. You're constantly, hey, you got another show today, yeah, and you got everything going, and it's like, look, you can keep selling out these concerts if you want to, but there's gonna come a time where you're gonna have to broaden your horizons a little bit and say, look, I need help. I need to be able to learn the word delegation, or virtual assistants, whatever it's going to be. It's got to be a point where you need to learn that you are not the only person that's going to be able to run this business or this business venture that you're getting into.
Definitely.
So that it just puts me into like the next question of like, I understand that you're a certified coach. What is the like one of the main problems or that people that you talk to or coach in the face? I understand sometimes it's like getting out of your own way, but besides that, what else do you encounter?
Okay. Hopefully you can hear me clear, because your thing keeps coming like a little fuzzy. But as long as everyone can hear it, I heard the question. I'm just saying that.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just making sure you can hear me clear. So
yeah, I can hear you.
The same sound I'm hearing.
Yeah, I mean, I can hear
Awesome. All right.
a little bit, but we good.
You see?
Hey, I hear that.
Okay, we're gonna go. Let's go. One of the ways, man. Listen, real quick segue. This technology and all y'all home, everybody home. Y'all messing me up.
Right?
And
I
ain't
know,
going back
man.
to
Go
work
to the
because
park or
everybody
something.
online and slowing up the process, slowing up the highway. All right, so
No,
listen,
right?
the one thing that I learned, and with dealing with other people and coaching them is one, they doubt. They don't believe they have what I tell them they have. Like I show them, I said, listen, you got a gift that can be turned into a business. You know, they don't value who they are, you know.
Right.
And then of course we talk about the second thing, being scared to launch something, you know, that's inside of them. Because when you work a job, you have a safety net, you know, or you work in a business, or even if the thing is, even self-employed people have a certain safety net because, like, if you're an accountant, you know, you just work in a business and they're your boss. But when you're working in a space that's you, like you really have to build something up, that's scary. You know, so it's getting out of your way, like we always talk about, getting past that self-doubt and being able to be consistent, be persistent, and not losing sight of your focus. Because that happens a lot. You know, you get things aren't happening quick enough, things aren't happening the way you want them to happen. So now you try to shift gears. You're trying to change up. But just staying on it, like being persistent and consistent in every season all the time creates a level of success. Sometimes it's not monetarily, but you're learning something. You're not the same person you were last year. Because most people, especially when you get on here on these platforms and you go on live, I've seen so many people change within a year. You know, just being consistent, being persistent, and they learn something about themselves, they learn something about others, and they learn something that they offer that has value. So that self-doubt and not knowing value is one of the main things, the biggest factor that I've noticed.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's probably the biggest one. It's that self-doubt. It's that self-doubt because, you know, there's a lot of people, you know, I work in a few industries, and some things, you know, especially when I'm in the travel industry, you get a lot of things that people never go anywhere. And the reason why is like, well, because I don't know anything about it. I'm like, wait, that's the point. You know, the point of traveling is to get out and see new things, right? Uh-oh. All right, there we go. All right, we're good now. All right. I think we good. I think we're getting better. I'm seeing a lot of stuff going on here. All right, so yeah, like I said, there's going to be a problem where, you know, they're not really going anywhere, but their ability to shift into another mindset, that becomes the problem. So are we gonna? I see a green screen. All right, let's see. Are you coming over here, man? All right, let's see. Hold on. Are we good?
Oh, look at that. All right.
All right. Yeah, and that's like, okay.
I'm sorry, man. This is like distracting. I'm trying to flow.
Hey, right. I'm sitting there. I'm like, hey, all right. I'm like, does he have a twin brother? All right, because all right, but yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So sometimes, you know, being able to shift that mindset to be able to say, okay, look, we need to get into a space or get that space out of our head to say, look, we never go anywhere because, you know, because of the fear of the unknown, right? And I think that's one of the things that causes a lot of hesitation for people either to get in business for themselves or to do anything, honestly, because you're always going to look at Mount Everest as, right, when you're at the base of the mountain. But as you're going up the mountain, it's you're still going, but it's not as bad as it was 20 minutes ago. You know,
that's true.
You're constantly making that progress, right?
That progress.
Yeah.
That progress. That part of the process is the exciting part. You know, you have to, and I always talk about it, enjoying the process, enjoying the journey, because that process is where you grow. That process is where you become the person you're supposed to become at the end of the journey. Because a lot of times we think I'm supposed to have this successful business and I'm supposed to be the person I am now, which is not true. You're going to be a whole other person when you get to that level of success. You know, so many things change. Thank you so much. So many things change during the process. You know, the process is like cooking. You got to put the ingredients together. You put it in the oven, and what comes out is something different than the separate ingredients. Right. So we got to go through the process. And if anything, I want to encourage anybody watching today, you got to go through the process, because right there is where you get lost, because you think it's just supposed to happen. You know, the tough challenges is what's creating who you becoming. Right. That's right where you need to focus. And as you shift, as you change, you know, you document how far you've gotten, how far you've gone, you know, and you get a little discouraged, look back like, wow, I've come so far. You know, I can't stop. I got to keep going, because like I said, no matter what journey of business you're on, in a year, if you stick to it a year, you're going to be different than you were the year before. Definitely. Learn something. You may not have millions. You may have had countless failures, but trust me, the connection you're going to have, the people you're going to meet, the things you're going to learn, it's going to be enormous. So get out there and start moving. That's if you get anything from us talking today, get out there and start moving. Start taking charge and stop letting someone else control your dreams.
Right. And, you know, I say this a lot, especially in corporate, right? I've been in the corporate world for a very long time. And, you know, I don't look it, but I was in corporate for a very long time. And, you know, there's a difference from a CEO who was hired to be a CEO, wow, as opposed to someone who started as an intern and worked his way up through the ranks, right? That person was on the ground level. He's seen it all. He's done it all. He knows every level of that business, right? And it's a little different, you know, because now he has that appreciation for the intern. He has that appreciation for the mid-level manager, you know, for the directors and all of those things, because he came up through the ranks. And as a leader, as an entrepreneur, you know, we need to get into that mindset of, you want to break out into entrepreneurship, and you got this business plan that looks awesome on paper, right? You're not going to make $1 million tomorrow. I promise you. You know, you don't have to put those work. And that's the type of thing is, you know, you're constantly learning. You have to take those scrapes, you know, because you can't learn without taking those scrapes. You know, it's like, hey, you know, it's just like a person who's been given everything in his life, right? That, you know, when it comes down to, you know, the end of the day, it's like, well, I don't know how to change my tire. You know, I know how to change a tire because, you know, geez, you know, that type of thing, you know. And then, so being able to know those minor skills always builds up to a lot bigger things, you know, and being able to succeed at a higher level. You know?
Right, definitely, yeah. It's that you have to recognize what you're becoming, going through the process, what you're learning, because trust me, you're going to learn a whole lot. And each step, each challenge, you'll be able to share, you know, because trust me, you'll hear another story. You're like, man, how do I relate now? Like, I totally understand what that means, you know, because when I watched the video about 2 years ago, he said the real life of an entrepreneur. And he was showing like, this is what people think. And he was showing them meditating and doing all this stuff. And then he was like, this is what it's really like. And he showed an empty room with a computer and a desk. He said, that's it. That's entrepreneurship.
I got these screens right here. Just like I'm all over everywhere. This is what I see like every day. You know, there are no weekends, you know. I got 7 Mondays, sometimes 8. Right. But that's the type of thing that you sign up for, you know, because you know, especially when you're getting started and understanding this is a business or businesses or whatever, that you're trying to build, you're trying to grow. So
Right.
you're going to have to put in that work. You're going to have to put in that grind time,
Right.
to be able to see the fruits of your labor.
Yep.
So I'm gonna make a little shift in the conversation with this to kind of bring this about the community, right?
Yes.
Because there's certain things that we know about ourselves individually, whether we are trying to grow personally, professionally, any of those things like that, and we're doing different. We're doing a lot of different things, right? And it's like we are trying to. Let me get that. You got some real feedback over there. You came in twice.
Yep. I just did. I just changed it. I thought I've muted. Nope. 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 Let's do this.
All right, now you're muted. You totally muted.
Bam. And shut that down. Because my thing started freezing up, so I had my phone. I was ready.
Yeah.
I was ready to switch.
No, yeah, you're good.
All right,
we're good.
All right.
So as I was saying, we're going to switch into the community role, right? Now, so
Yes.
we're doing a lot of these talks of personal and professional growth, but at the same time, how do you see us doing this as a community? Because one of the things that I like to tackle on the show is, generational wealth, how we can build as a community, what we can start doing, individually and as a whole. So some of the things that, I understand that you may do maybe more like one-on-one coaching or something like that, but as a community, how do we start looking to do bigger and better things for ourselves and each other?
So one of the things we need to can you still hear me at least?
I can still hear you.
Okay. So all right, turn it down. All right, so the main thing is working together. We always talk about what is that? Bringing our income together, collaborating money, and spending money on the Black community. We always speak about that. And you're frozen, and it's freezing everywhere. All right, so let me do this real quick. Let's get off of that. Let's change that. Problems everywhere today. All right. Let's change that up. Let's move that. That's shut down. All right.
As AD comes back,
All right.
all right, we good?
Oh, all right. I can hear you. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
This is how we're gonna rock. All right. Because I changed it back because my phone was about to die, but now I gotta try to be all good. Let's go. So we have to come together in collaborating efforts, right? Sometimes promoting on each other's social media. And I'm gonna keep it real. I know like people have huge followings and they charge, but it's creating relationships,
Right.
and working together to build something greater. Right. So if one person has something that they're trying to do and another person, kind of has a similar platform, you work together to try to find a common bond. I think a lot of times we lose that because we're so competitively driven that we want to be the first, we want to be the biggest, we want to make the most money. So you try to charge everybody for everything. Whereas if you think collaboratively, you can leverage what you have to still get to where you need to go, as well as help somebody else do the same thing. Because what I realize, if you're working in a community, if I'm helping you, you'll recommend to someone else who will recommend to somebody else who recommend to somebody else. And that last somebody else, the person I really need. And because I've set a record of doing great things, they know about who I am.
Right.
So that's one way of doing it. Another way, I've started an organization called Brothers of Legacy, and we're coming together to push a message of collaborating, coming together, building something greater. We have started in the school system, working with teachers and to help them out as men, to collaborate with the kids, so it's not so the children can see men as an example of them working together. So they see something different. And my goal is to have more black men. There will be white guys, white men as well, because I'm not like blocking them out, but I am targeting my black men, to really step up to the plate.
That's great.
As well as,
hey, that's something. That's a big change right there. To be able to see that. They don't. We've since we've been kids, it's always been that competitive nature. And the thing about it is like, look, you either first or you lost, right? And that's it. that's it. It's either you first or you lost. So it's always a good shift to be able to see people working in unison, or trying to actually come together with you're thinking of a master plan, right? You're trying to figure out how to put all this stuff together instead of just like, all right, look, everybody, I'm gonna build my house, you're gonna build your house, you're gonna build, and like, okay, that's cool, but how about we do it like this? And now it's, how about we all get together and we build a community instead of everybody just having individual houses?
Right, and that makes a difference. Collaborating, and it saves resources. If you get two businesses earning $100,000 a year, they combine their efforts, they combine their reach, they can gain a greater market share by sharing their resources.
Right.
Especially, I create this, you create that, we share it, and we build something greater. I think we miss out on that by being having such a competitive nature, especially at a small rate. Like if when you get to Google size, that's one thing. But when you're, goggle size,
mom and pop,
you got to, mom and pop, right? You got to kind of, if you're trying to get big, you got to collaborate with somebody, because a lot of these huge companies are a result of collaborations. And again.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're good now.
Back.
All right.
It's the demo. We'll let this interview go. All right. Oh man. And if y'all know me, I'm online all the time. Everything flowing. Jeez. All right. So it's that collaborative, that helps us become greater. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. I know, right? So, and I understand exactly where you're going with that. And it's like I said, it's understanding that you can go further together, right? And it's because if there's that possibility of I always give this example of having a peanut butter company and a jelly company, and everybody's just like, there's different ways you can do this, right? If you're coming together, y'all making a lot more money together. I think some of the issues we have is we're not thinking big picture. We're not thinking too far down the line, and that's the issue, because you're trying to sell the world on peanut butter, and all by yourself. Like, look, I'm gonna be Mr. Jif. You're like, no, bro. It's gonna be. I think we lost some volume here. I get you.
No, I'm still that popping.
Oh, okay, all right. So it's that thing where you're trying to be Mr. Jif, right? And you're not thinking long term. You're being able to see it a different way, being able to collaborate, with the jelly company down the street. Then you can make bigger and better things together. All right, let's see. Are you back with me here? I think you're still muted. All right, there we go. We're here now.
We're here now. We're in the building. Oh man. I got my crazy dogs outside. All right, let's go. I'm so sorry.
All right, so
I know it's kind
Yeah, I know. All right. Hopefully we're good now.
Yes.
All right. So, yeah, so the thing about it is, I really want to get into some of the current events.
Right.
And there's a lot of things going on in the community.
Yes.
And there's going to be some changes.
Right.
Yeah. So how do you? Okay, I know this is going to be one hell of a question and one hell of a conversation in this one because there's been so much. it's so much. All right, so let's kind of piece this together a little bit. How with Corona? How have you been able to pivot because of Corona?
It's breaking up. There we go. Okay, now I can hear you.
All right.
Question.
So, as I was saying, I was like, how have you been able to pivot? We're going to kind of chunk this up because there's been so much stuff happening in the news as of recent.
Right.
That if we are trying to build, whether personally or professionally, or as a community, there's been a lot of different things that has kind of hindered progress.
Yes.
And I'm gonna start with the virus. How has that created pivots in what you're doing or what your main focus is of how you're trying to build?
So what I've been working on for a while is doing working with my church and doing videos and things of that nature, like just at the church and filming and things of that nature. But now it's kind of like timely that I got into it because the shift has happened. The shift has happened because now I'm doing a whole service from home. I am, doing the editing and doing the intros, outros, all that great stuff I'm running the service from the house, and my pastor, he preaches it and I just put together the service. So that's one way we've been pivoting as far as the ministry concern is what I'm connected to, as far as another stream of income to build, as well as everybody's home. So we do Brothers of Legacy every morning at 9. So we've been giving everyone an opportunity to watch us, and especially I know you're going to shift into the other stuff going on. It's kind of timely that we have been together. We've been together, been doing the broadcast for a year now. Right. You're like, so yeah. We've kind of just been talking about the issues happening in our community and things of that nature. But now with all of the kind of police violence that's been ramping up in the community and just us coming together to try to build something greater, this has been timely, so pivoting wasn't necessary. We was in the right space for that. That was one of the you're in the right spot. So we've been pushing that more. And then as far as coaching, it's just more or less helping people go online, because that's everybody's. You realize how many people struggle to go online, how many people were equipped when COVID hit, I need to go online. People calling hey, how you do? What do you do? What service do you use?
All of them right there.
Stuff being you is secondhand now. You got to talk in real layman's terms. Okay, make sure you click this, then put that on this. So it's that kind of pivoting had to happen. Just teaching people about the stuff we've been blessed to have been practicing on for the last couple of years. We're not perfect, but we've perfected going online. We know the issues. Before we started, I was listen, I'm having connection issues. So be prepared, and having my phone ready. So when I go off, I can go on, things like that, knowing how to navigate in a time like this. So my pivoting is just kind of ramping up what I've already been doing.
Right, exactly. I see someone commenting teaching the basics of going online, kind of thing, because like I said, you had a lot of people, and it's one thing, and I'm not going to pick on the seniors, but sometimes they wasn't really online. We've
been pushing them, right? We were pushing get on
Facebook,
Right. Get on the Facebook. Get on the Facebook.
Yeah, and that's about it. Being able to communicate,
Right.
whether it's going to be in Zoom or Microsoft Teams or WebEx or whatever it's going to be. A lot of people may not have understood of how to navigate some of these settings and trying to shift it and more into a virtual space.
Yes. Yes.
So,
yeah. That and you said the next step is confidence on camera, right? And having that confidence to just speak what's in you, because that's been the challenge. Like, just listen, it's already in you. I've seen, like these professionals, it's already there. You spoke in front of people. All you gotta do is just take that and just talk to yourself about it on the camera.
Yeah, I know, and that's what I told you before, man. It was hard. It was hard because I'm used to being in a room with people. If I'm out, I don't care where I am. If I'm out in the street and I'm talking and whatever, I'm around people. If I'm, speaking at a tech conference, I'm in front of people. And then you come home, and all you got is a phone.
And people in and out of the room. People in and out. Like
people may or may not be there. Like, yeah, I see one. Okay, I saw a heart.
All right. Got some love.
No, I got one. Maybe they just accidentally swiped in, whatever. Those type of things.
Right.
And some days you feel like your message may not be getting across to some people, so it might be discouraging at first or something like that. But the good thing about it is, there's replays, and believe me, people will watch the replays. They will go. They will share this out on Twitter, and then there's a lot of other people that may watch it on Twitter that you don't even know it may not register in your Facebook, right? So it's those type of things. So people are catching your content. So you need to be a little bit more confident and just knowing that your message is getting out there. You may not have the hundreds and thousands of people in your live, or it's not like the versus battles where you got 150,000 people in there at one time. But it is it's all about content.
Right.
And reaching who you can. It's not necessarily, because the good thing about, a good case of telephone, like, look, I'm going to teach you and you're going to teach somebody else, at least tell them what you heard or what you thought you heard. As long as you get 90% of what I said, it might be good.
Right. And one thing I wanted to share though, about people watching. It's funny, like today I went to my old job and I'm going through like, yeah, we've seen you, we've been watching you, see you, watch you. And I'm thinking, I never seen a like, I never seen a comment, nothing. I never saw your comment. Like only one girl, like, I've seen your comment. You said so. You never said nothing, but you watching. Say something. Give me a heart. Let me know it's good. So trust me, people are watching. People are watching. So if you're going live and you feel like it's not making a difference, trust me, you're touching somebody's life. You're in somebody's life, because I was on Periscope under the Brother Legacy handle, and I went into somebody's Periscope. It was like a forum like this. It was like 4 people, and they were talking, and it was like, and one lady was like, "Who's Brothers of Legacy?" And then one of the lady girls there, who I've never known, was like, "Oh yes, Brother Legacy. They come on every morning at 9." I'm like, "I've never seen her."
I know. Right?
People are watching. People are watching.
Exactly. So yeah. The streets are watching, man. You just never know. So I mean, it's always good to be on your P's and Q's type of situation, because you just never know who's catching your message.
Right.
So and yeah, go ahead.
No, you good. You good. Someone in Periscope asked, "What's the objective?" I just joined. I just feel it way down. That's
somebody in the comments will handle that.
Oh man. So, all right, I think I might be freezing again, so I'm going to switch over so you can take me off for a sec while I do my shenanigans.
All right, so there we go. All right, so one of the things that I want to pretty much talk about is making sure you stay on message. Stay on cue. Make sure that you are promoting yourself, promoting your businesses, all of those things. Because even though you're coming on these live platforms, whether it's Periscope, YouTube Live, Facebook Live, any of those platforms, these are the things that people are going to look at. People are going to base your brand around your message. So it's always good to pretty much stay on task. Have a consistent message, and also make sure that you're also consistently going online, because there's going to be one thing that a lot of people don't understand is when you're coming, when you're going to be available, when you're going to be able to be online. Is it are you going to be on at Saturday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, or is it going to be Sunday at midnight? Those type of things. So it's going to be those type of consistency that is going to make, or I won't say make or break, but at least you will get into a place where if you do have a following, they will, they'll know exactly where to find you. And then, like he just mentioned, he may not have known that, he had a particular following, but they knew exactly when he was going online. So those type of things you really need to, be persistent and consistent, like you said earlier.
Definitely.
Also, so we talked about the virus, and now it's this other part, right? So there's
Yeah.
So yeah, all right. So
however you want to jump in, brother.
Hey, I know, right? Boy, it's like onions, man. It's like onions that make you cry, but you still gotta pull them back.
Right.
So how is everything that's going on now affecting your message? Because I know that some of the things that I'm doing, and at least on this platform, at least I can tailor it to be around current events as well. But some of my other business ventures, not so much. I'm running a travel business as well. Yeah, that's so and because even if you could go places, now there's curfews enforced. There's a lot of different things that you have to be wary of. How is certain things that's going on right now changing your message so that we can either reach our community in a positive way, because there's so much negativity in the world, and that can weigh down on anyone who's trying to build or who's trying to just see a lighter, see that bright light at the end of the tunnel.
Right. So I mean, with another incident, we are in a place where, like I said, we do the Brothers Legacy every morning. So it's kind of timely that we do come together in such a place, because now it opens up for conversation. And, we've been doing, like I said, a year. When we started out, we used to do like what's called a pass the cast. One person goes live, then the next person goes live, then the next person goes live. And then over time, we was like, we need to come together and just do a forum. And then with the COVID hit, it kind of changed a lot of our schedules. So it allowed that ability to do that. So with us coming together and discussing what's next, because my goal in Brothers of the Legacy, especially now, is to not lose the conversation. Like, I don't want to move on. I want to stick right here to try to make some kind of change, some kind of solution, some kind of answer. Because when you're constantly faced with the same situation that's been with us for such a long time, it's imperative that we don't leave the conversation, because we've done it since Trayvon Martin. We've left the conversation. We wear our shirts, we put the hoodies on, we got the Skittles, we got the tea, but that's it. We march in the streets. We want certain justice. We want things to happen, but we're getting Band-Aids. Did I freeze? Am I still good? Okay, good.
Yeah, you're good.
It seemed like when I freeze, but I'm still talking. So
yeah, hey, you're good. Just keep going, bro.
I'll keep going. So it's imperative that we keep the conversation going. So whatever conversation you're having in your household, we need the only pivot I would say is now what's next? What's the solutions? Let's start talking solution based. Let's start talking what can we change? And I know it's discouraging and you feel like nothing will ever change because it's always been like this.
Right.
But trust me, situations, things can change. We are kind of in a better place than we've been in the past, whereas our rights take a little more to be violated. You know what I'm saying? Like some white dude can come up and smack you. Now you can smack him back, without the old school repercussions. They gonna grab both of you guys. At least there will be more of an opportunity of some kind of equal justice. Not always, but not as bad as before. Before it's just like, they let him go and you get strung up somewhere. So now we're at least for justice, we've come up some, but we still need that real equality. So like even with the Arbery case, it's not the fact that the white guy shot him, it's the fact that they didn't arrest him. It's tragic. Now I'm not like negating, I'm just telling you our beef is the fact that they did not arrest these white guys. Because you can't, it's working on the mindset of America is a whole nother issue. First we need to attack the justice system, and then we can start working on the mindset of America and start shifting that. But if anything, I want to encourage you to just stay in the fight. Don't let this pass. Just don't let this pass. As far as my area, I think, did we say this on camera or off camera? But my area, I'm about 30 minutes from Atlanta, and my Walmart closed, have been at like 5 o'clock because of fear of riots. Right. So it's they are concerned, but I personally don't see it happening or spilling over like that. And the whole rioting, no, I'm not with it at all. Not with it at all, especially as an entrepreneur and business owner, because Black businesses are getting a hit too. Like, it's not. And then even the people that are attacking, I guess white businesses, are you attacking? If you're attacking a business that you knew was a card carrying Klan member, maybe I was like, maybe it's a little retribution. It still ain't right, maybe, but overall, it's anarchy. And I know, of course, some of the pictures of white guys doing this, I'm saying the police are setting it up. Regardless, if a bricks are out there, don't pick them up. It's not helping the cause. It's not helping the push. So I'm not saying all the rioting. I'm not saying who's rioting. As far as just my opinion on the rioting period. My opinion is it shouldn't happen. But outside of that, we just need to continue to fight. We need to continue to know what's happening. Know who your sheriff is. Know who your district attorney is. And begin to push the agenda of change in their face. The hate crime act in Georgia is in the process of going through legislation to be passed. And they're basically taking the same hate crime bill that's in other states. I think 5 states don't have the hate crime bill, and we're one of them. So they're trying to push that. So things like that, and then find out who's for the hate crime bill and who's not. See, things like that, their agenda. At least they and we got it. And I know this is probably controversial, but hear me out. Just because they look like you don't mean they're for you. They're not going to push your agenda. So we have to see who's pushing our agenda and then figure out what is your agenda. What is it that you want to happen and come together on it. My thing is just staying focused, knowing what you want and going after it. That's in everything.
Right. Exactly. And I know some days, it seems hard, because there's so much, as a community, there's a lot of things that we haven't tackled. And a lot of people are not very politically savvy, because unless they're going to law school, they probably haven't even picked up the book, right? They haven't figured out, these type of situations, understanding, how law, anything. We heard some Schoolhouse Rocks, and that was about it.
I'm just
right. About our business, right? So and that was those type of things, right? So I think there's a lot more that we can do, and just understanding how things work.
Yes.
Because once you understand, understand your rights, understand who you are, understand how things work, then you can understand how to fix or attempt to fix things, right?
Yes.
It's like as a kid, I'd be sitting there taking apart radios, whatever, right? I mean, sometimes I know how it works. Now I know how it probably won't work because
Right.
but it don't matter. And now I know exactly how things are in there.
Right.
So sometimes it takes opening up a law book, open up law dictionaries, things like that to understand what's going on, understand what's really on these bills that you may be voting for.
Right.
Those type of things. It's like you would think it would just be common sense, but at the same time, it's not that common. It's just like you kind of just you tend to vote a certain way because you've always voted that way.
Right.
It's like, wait a minute, that's not necessarily the way you're supposed to do things, because just because like you said, just because it quacks like a duck and walks like a duck doesn't matter. It may not be a duck. It might be a platypus. It might be something totally different. And that you have to have that mentality. It's just kind of like peel back the layers and understand what's really going on if you really want to make a change.
Right. It's one of the things I will say, because I know here in Georgia there's someone that's been in legislation since Dr. King, and his biggest accomplishment is walking with Dr. King, and it's like, dude, I need more. I need a little more.
And that's it.
Right. I need having a picture with a photo op is not that's not really doing it. I know I appreciate you getting knocked in the head all those years ago, but I need a little more. I need some more. So we need and the thing I've been pushing and talking about is term limits. We got sheriffs, we got House of Representatives, we got senators, and people that have been in office way too long. Yeah. And because their name is familiar, they always get voted in. Exactly. So we need to put some term limits. You do your 4 years.
90 years old.
Right.
Like, he's 90 years old. Is he actually signing anything?
Right. Is he coming to work? Like,
exactly, right? Because you have to think about how far we've come in a short amount of time, right? And as you said, some of the things that's happened, 64, 68, wasn't that long ago, and people have been in that seat, so they still had that same mentality. They're still pushing that same agenda and everything else. So being able to be in a space where have that term limit, I totally agree with you, because sometimes, and I teach this a lot about business automation, right? And it's more of a thing where you have new people with new eyes, as opposed to the old people who have been at the job that never want to change. And like, look, we can easily make this automated instead of you opening up 18 Excel sheets in a particular order. You got some macros going on, and no one knows exactly what's going on. So that type of situation. So now it's like, but this is the way we've always done it. This is the way it's always worked. That type of situation, and we've never, we're not getting that first set of odds, right?
Right.
Sometimes whether it's going to be those millennials or those Zoomers that's coming in, it's like, okay, look, we have a new outlook on things, right? The way you've done it before, it probably worked 50 years ago.
Right.
But there's got to be some type of progress, and I think that's what a lot of people don't see. It's like we don't see a lot of progress because we still have a lot of people with the same mentality because that's all they know.
So I don't know if do you do the comments? Do we go through comments sometimes?
No, not really. I mean, because only because if it's pertinent to the conversation but I'm not. This is not a troll platform, so
No, I got you. Try to avoid that. No, some of the comments was back on something else, but okay. But we're gonna keep rolling. So did you have another question? Because the thing I'll add to the whole situation, like I said, just being vigilant and knowing, things have to change as far as laws, and the term limits will, one, get rid of people that have been the old guard. That's the number one thing. And honestly, I feel like most of America wants term limits. They're tired of the same dudes being in the same spot forever and not really doing much. Right. The only people they're helping are those old constituents, those old corporations, those with money that keep donating to them, and they make sure they're good. Outside of that, I don't know if they're bringing any new legislation or they're just doing the bare minimum. Or when things like this happen, they step up, show their face, get arrested, do this, and then it's look like they're a hero. But they need to do things that will curb things like this happening. Or hitting the extreme, because like I said, you can't change. You can't just make somebody do something different. You can't just make somebody do something different. So the cop is bad. Let's do something. Let's arrest them all. Let's prosecute. Let's make this thing happen instead of us having to protest and be out there in your face to make what's common sense should happen.
Exactly. It's not common, right? Common sense is common.
Right.
Because, you can keep doing it. Like you got that wagon with that square wheel. Like it's like, look, it's not that difficult.
Right. But hey, for a while, I'm a little tired. Can we do something with that wheel? Right.
It don't sound right. It's supposed to clunk every time we move. No. Right. There's got to be some progression. For you to see some type of change.
Right.
So it's those type of things that I think that we need to start having those type of conversations where it is we are talking amongst ourselves, talking amongst our community because like I said, there is a lot of people who may only vote or do certain things a certain way because that's all they know. That's all their mama did. That's all their daddy did. That's all it's been like, look, I come from a long line of this, and this is what I'm always going to be, and this is all I know. So, I know exactly which box I'm checking, even though that box probably does not have your best interest at heart. So, those type of things are, things that I think we really need to start addressing within our community. Being able to build on a lot of different, surface areas. It's like, okay, we're going to be able to touch like financially, try to, promote generational wealth and stuff like that. And that's what I'm trying to do here. And I know your brother's legacy, y'all touch on a lot of that. And those type of things to say, hey, look, y'all not looking at the big picture here. It's the same. And I don't quote me on prices because I don't buy this stuff. But the same $200 that you spent on that belt, you could have put into several stocks or something like that. To be able to change that mindset of something that you've always done, and then so you can do it a different way so you can see different results. Right?
Definitely.
And I think that's what a lot of people are not really like you said, it's common sense.
Right.
But you're saying you're asking, did you see that to the blind man? And they're not necessarily. Yeah, I mean, it's common sense to you because hey, I can clearly see what's going on.
Right.
You ask the wrong person and like, hey, you can't see that. And so that's what I'm saying. Sometimes, it pays to be able to make these conversations or have these conversations.
Yes.
To expand people's mind, because at least if it's confined to a bit, and it's like, all right, well, let me add these new things. So now it can never go back to the same place it was before. It's if you know better, you do better type of thing, or should.
Right. That's the hope.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a lot of it's some layers to it. I believe, like I said, the first is the legislative layer, and then the next is like a social perceptive layer. Changing the perception of what America sees Black people as. It's been so skewed, and just as a note, I'm not saying all, but it's just as a perception that a lot of people see us as, and of those that don't have consistent contact with Black people, all they see is what's on the news or what's on TV or what's portrayed in the news, so it kind of skews, their thought process. They look at the Obamas as an anomaly. They look at, some of these successful stars as an anomaly. Like we are more than that one, two smart guys. That's us. That's us. It's the hoods that are the anomalies. It's the thugs that are the anomalies. We need to change the thinking and the mindset. So it's a big perception deal that I feel needs to change.
Exactly. It's all about switching that narrative.
Right.
I wanted to also touch on the Brothers of Legacy. Now, is this the exact same thing, the Brothers Who Talk podcast, or is that something different than Brothers? I know I got a couple of different things. I'm just trying to get clarity.
Yeah. So Brothers of Legacy is our group that we come on every day, and it's designed to bring brothers together, to work in our communities, to work in our school systems. And our motto is, we don't stand out. We don't stand out, we stand up. So one thing, like, I had a conversation with some of my family members. One of the guys is a correctional officer. I'm like, we need to start. He was talking about starting self-policing in your neighborhoods. So this program is kind of designed to take us back to that era, Brothers of Legacy. And we go on live just so we can make awareness to our communities, talk about what's happening. Obviously, we need to do a lot of talking, especially now, and even going forward, keeping the conversation going. Now, Brothers Who Talk, the podcast, that's me and my brother Terry. Okay. We talk about a lot of different things. We have interviews kind of like this. It's a podcast, YouTube platform designed just so, we talk about relationships, we talk about different situations more personally instead of community based. So it's kind of like, we have fun with it while getting deep into the things that we're dealing with personally. Okay. So Brothers Who Talk, yeah. So that's an actual podcast. You guys can look it up. Go on Apple. If you got Apple iPhone, please go to Apple and put a rating. Let us know what you think, as well as you can get us on YouTube as well. Brothers Who Talk. You'll see my face like this and his face, So it's actual YouTube. It's not like just a podcast audio we uploaded. No, you actually see a video of us going through the podcast. Okay. Audio version. Yeah. So it's an actual video podcast, so you can see us, and we got little graphics and all that great stuff happening.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I definitely have to check that out. I thought they were kind of like the same thing, but
I know they kind of merge.
I can't keep so many tabs on you. I'm like, I know AD's over here. I know he's doing this. I know he's doing that.
And then I got one more.
All right,
I got like tonight. Me and my lady. It's called Purpose for Forever. So basically, what I'm doing with everything is like a whole. It's the men, the brother portion, Brothers Who Talk, and it's the family portion. Me and my wife. The relational portion, because you got to see brothers how they relate relationally to the ladies, because honestly, that's the bulk of most of our lives. And even if you're single, you're interested in somebody, you're dating somebody, you're single, you're not single, so there's always that relational component. So we talk about relationships, we talk about what we're going through, because we were divorced, and now, as I talked in the beginning, we're getting married again. So we're coming back together. So it's the same woman. So if you're looking like, that's a new woman? No, it's the same woman. We come on every Monday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we talk about life, our situations, how we're dealing with the quarantine, and we have guests on, other couples on. So we're building a community of broadcast. We're building each other up, and we want you to see more positive Black faces. Right. That's the goal. positive black faces, and try to get away from the negative and all the anger and all the twerking. Like this show, this is great. Wealthy these days. Yeah, it's great because it gives you an opportunity to see something that someone that looks like you delivering a message that can be positive in your life. Because honestly, it's that subliminal thing that you need to see. Just constantly seeing positive, black people, it helps in your perception of yourself. So,
exactly. And it ties into just being able to see positive images, or those type of things, whether you are seeing yourself in a book as a kid or something like that, or what have you, right? Because it's like we need to see those type of images. We're inundated with a lot of different movies, TV, media, everything that's showing us in a bad light. So, you name it, it's that type of situation where it's everything from baby daddy, baby mama drama, or some, fighting amongst each other or whatever. All those type of shows, this, reality. Right. Last time I knew reality had a script, but all right.
But listen, real quick plug.
Right.
If y'all don't have Brandon's book, if you do not have Brandon's book, it's right there in the corner, up in this corner. You can see it.
I have no idea which way.
Like yes. I'm sure it's on his site. You guys need to pick it up. My daughter loves it. So this is not coming from a grown man. Like, did you read it? Of course not. My daughter read it, and she loved it. She loved it, and she actually finished it. She came to me looking for the next part. So definitely get that.
It's coming, especially after got to get it out there.
Yes, you guys get that. When you get it, take a picture and show that you are supporting a brother. Not only because to one thing, I don't push like just blind support. Nah, support someone that's putting out. There you go, Dr. Henry. Putting out a book that is relevant to our community, that's helpful and it's quality. So I don't support things that aren't quality. So I love you, but I can't support what's not quality. So definitely quality. Yes, it'll bless your life, bless your family.
Hey, I appreciate that.
No worries, man.
All right, so that is all I really have. I know you got to go and get all ready for everything else you do. Hey, I'm like, look, I gotta skate. You already told me, like, look, it's almost 8, bro. I caught that. Man. Like, hey, I do this whole lot. But yeah, so I know you got Purpose for Forever coming on soon. I appreciate you for being here. Everything that you taught us about, being able to build, grow, whether it's professionally, personally, whether it's going to be in our relationship, understanding, all of this stuff that's going on with everything, law and, stuff like that. We really need a lot of people in our community to start stepping up and just kind of understanding exactly what's going on. And, I appreciate you, and I appreciate, everything that the Brothers of Legacy and, the Brothers Who Talk, all of the things that you're doing, all the platforms that you're on, to put us in a more positive light. Because, like you said, the more that we see that, the more that we believe that we can attain it. Right. Yes. And, you got to see it to believe it, and then you can achieve it, type of thing, So, and I appreciate you for just being here and speaking with us tonight.
No problem. I appreciate the opportunity to be here. We've known each other for a while, so I'm honored to be a part of your show.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. All right, so I want to thank all of you for being here as well. Thank you for being on this episode of Get Wealthy Wednesday. Next week, we will speak with Angel Radcliffe. You may know her. She used to be on Periscope. She may still come on Periscope sometimes as Miss RMBA. She's going to have a lot of good nuggets on working with our household budgets working with getting our finances in order. And I can't wait to speak with her because during this time we have a lot of financial worries. We have a lot of financial worries, so we're really going to need like how to stretch that dollar a little bit more and just understand that. So make sure you follow me on Instagram, New Network. Let me put that up there for y'all, so y'all know exactly where to find me. I'm IMF Brandon everywhere. IG New Network. Go support New Network. That is a Black owned, created, and founded social media platform. And so go on New Network. You can find me there as well. I am F. Brandon. I'm here on YouTube for the people who are watching this on YouTube, and I'm also on Twitter and Periscope at IMF Brandon. So be sure to follow me there. If you would like to contribute, I've had the scroll down there. If you'd like to contribute to the show, go and support me at More Owned on Cash App, or if you are in the crypto space, if you have Bitcoin or any of that, you can donate via crypto on fredbrandon.info. So, nice. Like I said, it's been a great night. I appreciate you being here and just taking your time out of your busy schedule, because I know you got things to do. Running, change your hair, change your glasses, like a different spiel for the next show and stuff. So, all right, man. I will talk to you later.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, bro.
No problem, man.
All right. See y'all all later. I will switch y'all out. Just give me 1 second here. And,